Welcome to Subramani. Uh, During volatile times, many of these questions also arise and people get scared. So, especially retirees, some retirees are taking much more risk than they need to take risk. Try telling them that, look, the race is over, you have won, you have reached the finish line, and now you have to stop running. Does not happen. People continue to run worried that the money may not last, right? So, there is no number at which people want to be happy and say, oh, I have enough now, I don't need to do anything, right? Typically it is not 30 times annual income, it is not 40 times annual income, it is not some 1 crore, 2 crore, 4 crore, 5 crore, no such thing. If anybody who has money thinks that it is not enough for him or her to last through retirement, right? So somebody who has 1 million wants to have 2 million, somebody who has 1 crore wants 2 crores, somebody who has 2 crores wants 4 crores, right? That does not change at all, and if they whatever they have saved, they would like something more because they think they will run out of money, right? So this is and this, I think, largely happens because of market volatility. They have seen their portfolio worth, say, at 3 crores. Now suddenly the market is down, let's say 20%, so which means 60 lakhs is wiped out of the market, wiped out of their net worth, whatever be the asset allocation. So when something like 50-60 lakhs is wiped out, the 2.5 crores is also perhaps enough. 2 crore 40 lakhs is perhaps more than sufficient for his retirement, but now it's scared. He's saying, oh my god, see, it has fallen. If the market continues to fall like this 20% every year for 5 years, I will be wiped out. Technically wrong, but mathematically it is right. He may not come to zero, but he'll come to very near zero. So these are things which worry people, and you can't really help them except by saying, keep your money in 2-3 buckets, right? So first bucket is from where you are going to spend over the next 5 years. So that could be low duration fund, ultra short bond fund, liquid fund, bank FD, cash at home, right? All these things could be there in your bucket number 1, and from where you are withdrawing. So your annual expenses, let's say your annual expenses are about 15 lakhs. So as long as you have 75 lakhs in this bucket, you don't have to worry about what is happening to the market, because you have other buckets in which you have kept money. So you have kept your second bucket where you want to keep money which you don't require for, say, 7 years. So 7 to 15 years, so 7 to 10 years you keep in that bucket. And the third bucket is saying, this is growth. I'm never going to need it, in the sense that even if I need it, I will remove it during a bad period, during a good period, and put it into bucket number 1 or bucket number 2. This is the bucket theory, and this is how it works. So you also keep the portfolios in separate locations, right? You keep, say, something in money control, you keep something in value research, wherever, so that when the market falls, you look only at one, and you realize that anyway I need that money only after 7 years or 10 years, so I don't have to worry about it. So you look at it separately. Don't look at everything together. So I said, like, bucket number 1 has 75 lakhs. It should protect you reasonably against inflation. It will not completely protect you against inflation. You don't expect a liquid fund or an ultra short bond fund to give you inflation beating returns. That's not the purpose, but it should be close. So if inflation is 6%, or let's say inflation is 7%, and you are getting 6% return on this, that's not too bad, right? It's more than sufficient, because you already have 75 lakhs there. So after 4 years, you will definitely continue to have some money there, even if you have not withdrawn anything from bucket number 3 or bucket number 2 and put it here. But let's say the markets are doing very well, the shares are up, your equity is up, everything is up, and you're in a great mood. It's a great time to shift money from bucket number 3 to bucket number 1. Maybe you shift just 50 lakhs, right? So that's enough, because that is 3 years expenses. You already had something like 60 lakhs, so you shifted another, say, 40 lakhs, 50 lakhs, let's say 15 3s or 45 lakhs. So what you have done is you have increased your bucket 1 So bucket 1 has now got more ability to stay, you have more ability to stay calm simply because bucket number 1 is bulging and bucket number 2 is also bulging, and you realize that maybe you're 72 years of age or 73 years of age. So if you have money for the next say 10-15 years in bucket number 1 and bucket number 2, your life is done. You don't have to take more risk. But at this stage, if you think you're taking too much risk, you can sell something from your bucket number 3 and bring it to bucket number 1 or bucket number 2. Because what happened in 2008 was a lot of people lost money, and some people had to go back to work because they had not planned their income also. They did not plan their retirement income. They had assets, but they didn't know from where they are going to withdraw, how much they are going to withdraw, will they keep putting money in PPF, right? So all these decisions they wouldn't have taken. So 2008, when they lost money, some people had to go back to work. You cannot afford to do that with your retirement money. So better to be more conservative. Maybe you put 10 years expenses in bucket number 1 and 5 years expenses in bucket number 2, which means next 15 years what happens in the market does not bother you, which is fine. Maybe you're 72, so you think, okay, till 87, 88, I'm not going to be bothered about what the market is doing. So whatever is lying in bucket number 3 belongs to my children. In case of an emergency, I will take, and in case the markets are doing extremely well, I'll take I'll take some money from bucket number 3 and put it to bucket number 1 and bucket number 2. That is what you can do. In an ideal situation, we want 100% return and never failing, zero, standard deviation very low, it cannot be zero. And that's how we want it to be. However, it can't happen, right? So your protection bucket, your growth bucket, your medium term bucket, all of them, make sure that it is adequately filled up. And afterwards, if you think that with age you will have a problem in understanding markets, equity, etc., perfectly all right, buy an annuity with that amount, which will give you a guaranteed return. Very inefficient from a taxation and return point of view, but still it's one asset which can never go to zero. So you know, whatever happens every month, I will get 70,000 rupees, 75,000 rupees, whatever, as annuity from a place which can help me live for the rest of my life. I have a house, I don't have too much of expenses. So if this is happening, that I'm able to handle volatility by buying annuity, that's a great way to handle it, right? You cannot let your retirement depend on the flip of a coin. Market is doing well, I'm happy, I'm retired, etc. Market is doing badly, you say, oh my god, I don't know whether I'll have to go back to work. You don't have to be a pendulum which swings from both these sides. Be careful, be in the middle. That's far more important. So yes, control your risk by controlling the amount of money you have in equity. Control your risk by the amount of money that you're having in debt. Like if you're a 60-year-old and you put everything into debt, you may run out of money because you might live longer than what you thought you would. So be careful about all those things. And if you're taking too much risk in your retired portfolio or your retirement portfolio, or your father is doing that, right? So have a look at it and surely make sure that the risk that is being taken is, if it is unnecessary, cut it out. Because you may not look too great in the short run, but in the long run you won't look too bad either. Thank you.